Hey, what's up, YouTube land? This is Father Casey Jones here with Priestfit. Priestfit is a fraternal outreach to Catholic priests through which myself and co-founder Father Ryan Rooney encourage priests to eat clean, be fit, and pray well. And we are in the initial presentation challenge of our program, and this is what we call Day 10, and the title is Be Prepped. Be Prepped. Now, we've all heard the Boy Scout motto, be prepared. The idea is that a scout should be the kind of man who thinks ahead and is ready to face almost any circumstance. He's always ready. And this is a motto that we should embrace as we journey into health. And so let's talk about meal prep for a moment. Now, meal prep is more than just the practical work of planning, cooking, and portioning out your meals for the week, though. And some of you might do that. Some of you might not do that. This is not going to be an instructional video where I sit here and show you my recipe for chicken and rice that I portion out for the week. There's plenty of places that you can do that. But I just want to kind of talk a moment and talk about also, this again talks about kind of what we've talked about before, planning how you're going to approach food during the week. So right now I'm an academic. So I have a busy but more regularized schedule, and it's a little bit easier for me as far as meals go. I have a cafeteria. I know there are healthy options in my cafeteria. I know exactly which healthy options I'm going to have. But I know in parish life, it's crazy. In parish life, it's very rare. At least it was very rare for me that I had lunch at the same time every day, that I had dinner at the same time every day, because we have all of these things going on, and sometimes you have to be able to grab things quick and on the run. And if you do not plan and you do not eat, what are you going to do? You are going to go through the Wendy's drive-thru at 11 o'clock at night and get the double quarter pounder with cheese, if you're anything like I used to be, or a milkshake or something else, or you run to 7-Eleven. You're going to fall into eating unhealthy food because it's quick and convenient. So we have to be very careful. We have to be able to look at what how we're going to plan out the week. So I invite you to plan out your week. Start thinking about what you're going to do. See what you have coming up and prepare yourself. Do you have a lunch meeting? Pull up the menu of the place where you're meeting at lunch online, or call and see what options you have. Some of you worry about, are there healthy options? Almost every restaurant, by the way, you could order grilled chicken breast, rice, and broccoli, which is kind of the standard healthy meal. But there might be more options than that. Do you have a brunch? Do you have dinner time activities? Are you in a regular time crunch all week? Then that's the time to really sit down and consider, all right, do I want to do some meal prep? The bottom line is, if you don't go in a day or your week without a plan, you're going to fail. So we have to be prepped, be prepared. Be prepared, be prepped. So I'll give you some practical advice, though, if you are going to do meal prep, for things that have helped me. Again, because we as priests do live unique lifestyles. Meal prep isn't rocket science, but it can be intimidating if you haven't cooked before. So let me give you first of all, some equipment that you need. You need to measure out your stuff, because again, we talked about, if you're keeping track through an app such as Lose It or MyFitnessPal, you have to make sure that you know your ounces. So make sure you have your scoops, your cups, and your scale. You have to get a little scale too for portioning. And as you portion out your foods for the week, it's just helpful to have it already measured. You can put them in, and if you want to have like those cheap, plastic Tupperware type containers to store your food in, that's fine too. You can also wrap it in foil, Ziploc bags. Those things work well, but you want to be sure that you have it. One thing you might want to get, if you're considering doing easy meal prep meals as a priest, get a slow cooker, which they also call crock pots. It can be a great way for making one-pot meals. You can look online, type in healthy, low-calorie, or low-carb, or whatever your dietary needs are, crock pot recipes. You're going to find stuff. It does take a while to cook, but it needs a little attention. So you can, throw something in the cooker, go celebrate your weekend masses, and you come back, it's done. All you have to do is portion it out. Again, like I said, you want to get some bags for sorting things out. One thing I found that's healthy too, that's easy too, just for making cooking easier for me as a priest and prepping, a rice cooker. That's just something that's helped me, something I'm suggesting. You don't have to do it, but it's relatively cheap, and it's also good for cooking rice and other grains. So you can use it for quinoa, barley. I've used it for those things as well. But it also is actually really good for steaming vegetables. And again, it's something you can kind of sit and forget. So if you leave a pot of rice boiling on the stove, you run away, that's gonna be a problem. In a rice cooker, yeah, it's usually designed so that it does everything just right. So to prep for the week is kind of simple. First of all, I recommend, if you can, just for our own wallets, because none of us are in priesthood for the money, right? That you make a trip to Costco, BJ, Sam's, one of those places where you buy stuff in bulk. Pick a protein you like. It doesn't have to be chicken breast. I know they're the go-to standard for healthy eating, but there's other stuff too. Pork loin's very lean. I'm a big fan of pork loins. You get those cheap pork loins in those bulk stores. They're really good. Lean ground beef isn't bad. Salmon, tuna, any kind of fish, shrimp. Actually, you get a lot of bang for your buck as far as protein on shrimp. But then you have to watch out. Some people might have other health concerns. You might be watching cholesterol, but you know the proteins you can and can have, and the ones that are good for you. You want to go with things that are lower calorie, and typically lower fat. So any lean meat protein that's healthy. Yeah, anything that's nutritional. So then I'll say grab your favorite vegetables. If you hate vegetables, by the way, try something new. Try something you haven't tried before. Look up healthy, good tasting vegetables. I found that I actually liked vegetables when I didn't think I did for a long time, because once I had them to where they weren't overcooked, boiled in a pile of mush with half a stick of butter put on top of them, as the way I often experienced my vegetables growing up. Boy, I found that I really liked them, and some of the Brussels sprouts some of the vegetables that I hated the most as a kid, like Brussels sprouts, actually end up being some of my favorite vegetables now. So I invite you to kind of try some different foods, try some things that are healthy. So you get and then get some grains too. As I always say, it's usually good. Grab some grains or some kind of good starch. I've become a fan of quinoa, but other healthy starches like a sweet potato, brown rice, things like that. There's all kinds of good options. Barley, farro. There's all kinds of good options if you want to have a good healthy carb. So you just take this stuff home, and on your prep day. Now the day that I used to use for my prep day was actually, I would do it on Sundays after I was finished my morning masses. We didn't have an evening mass at my parish, and it was just a great time to it was kind of cathartic. All right, put on some music, and let me just look at my week and plan out my week. And so you just take the stuff home and you cook the food, and then you place them in the appropriate portions and the portion containers for the week or the next few days, and bam, you're set. And if you, again, I'm trying not to reinvent the wheel here, because there are entire websites dedicated to meal prep. You guys will be able to find this stuff. But if you guys have any tips, feel free to share your tips on meal prep. If you want more tips, I think we can give you some more tips. But the biggest thing is, again, it's kind of like we said before, we just want to make sure we go into this with a plan. So it's time to be prepped, to be prepared, be prepped. All right, guys, let's pray for one another. Eat clean, be fit, pray well. God bless you.